All right, so it's 7 o'clock on Monday, December 20th, 2021, and I'll call the meeting to order. And this is our last council meeting for 2021 and before the holiday season. So with that, I just want to remind some folks, do some, some housekeeping, that when you guys start to put out some of your Christmas wrapping paper and all that kind of stuff in your blue water recycling bins, that is not able to go in the recycling bin. Make sure you put that into your garbage. If not, the folks at Blue Water will not be too happy with you. Also, over the Christmas season, I hope everybody gets together with your family and friends over the Christmas holidays and New Year's, and I hope everybody has a great holiday season. So before we get into the minutes of the previous meeting, I just want to note that Councillor Clark is not able to join us tonight. She has a prior commitment with another board. So unfortunately, she's not able to join us. And with us on the screen is Dan Parker, our current Deputy Fire Chief, which will be jumping into the role of Fire Chief starting on January 1st, 2022. So that's really exciting for him to join us here. And I know that he's awaiting bylaw number, bylaw number 79 of 2021, making sure that one gets signed so we can move on with him getting appointed as Fire Chief. So that's really exciting. Is there any declaration of pecuniary interest or general nature thereof? Seeing none. So we have the minutes of the previous meeting, and those were from December 6, 2021. We have a mover and seconder for approval. Okay, Deputy Hendricks and Councillor McKinnon, all those in favor, and that's carried. And we'll move into the correspondence. So our next upcoming conference and seminars and meetings. The next meeting is on January 17th of next year, which is a ways away, and then February 7th. We have the Aroma Conference, which is being held virtually from January 23rd to the 25th. And then there's also the Good Roads Conference being held in person in Toronto, and that's from February 27th to March 2nd. I'm not sure if anybody has taken the opportunity to look at that to see if you want to register, but the Good Roads Conference is always a good one to attend, and I'm not sure if Coulter, you'll be joining there or not, but it's perfect. So the next section is the recommended readings. The first one is from Middlesex County, and it's the Economic Development and Tourism Update Presentation. And in that one, the one that I want to note on there is, if you haven't taken an opportunity to see it yet, there is the video from Ralph Boss Meets. It's a really great video showcasing their business in there. So check out their YouTube page to see that video. Item number 2 is from the Ministry of Infrastructure. It's the Building Broadband Faster Act Guidelines and Regulations. Item number 3 is from the Middlesex London Health Unit, and it's their Board of Health November 2021 update. Item number 4 is from the Assalvo Bayfield Conservation Authority, and it's their Board of Directors meeting minutes for November. Item number 5 is from St. Clair, and it's their meeting highlights for November 4th, 2021. And the last one there is from the town of Penishtanguishene, and that is the letter to the Attorney General. And Mike Barnier is laughing because we knew that I was going to screw that one up. Action required. Resolution, that's from the City of Kitchener, and it's the fire safety measures. Any thoughts on this one? Okay, moving on to item number 8, which is in regards to the Truth and Reconciliation Actions. Okay, it looks like we're going to have a motion to receive and file correspondence 1 through 8. Okay, Deputy Mayor Hendricks and Councillor Brody, all those in favor? And that's carried. Okay, the first staff report is from our Public Works Manager, and it's the seasonal sidewalk closures. Coulter.
Oh, thank you, Mayor Smith. I'll just give a quick background here. Through bylaw 77 of 2019, the township made the decision to maintain sidewalks on the east and west side of Kerwood Road. In 2020, the township decided to further the winter maintenance of sidewalks in Kerwood to include the side streets. After going through one winter season, staff and contractors have found it quite challenging to remove snow from the roadways and sidewalks by not overlapping each other, making more of a hazard, just because the sidewalks are right on the edge of the street. So it is quite problematic when we get there after the sidewalk plows or before. The township has received feedback from residents regarding sidewalk winter maintenance on the side streets of Kerwood. They feel it is unnecessary due to the amount of traffic and the fact that snow removal is extremely difficult given the location of the sidewalks. Basically, through MMS, the township can pass a bylaw to close the sidewalks for the winter season. That would be from November 1st to April 15th in the following year. Basically, in my opinion, I would like to close the sidewalks on the back streets in Kerwood for the winter season and keep the main ones open, like Center Road and Napperton, Pike, main streets of Kerwood. The financial impact for closing the sidewalks would be $320 for signage and to send out notices to the residents. And we'll also work with the current contractor to adjust the service provided. That will likely result in a cost reduction. And I'll open up for any questions if there is any.
Okay, thank you, Coulter. Is there any questions at all from members of council? No, does not look like it. So we have the motion there that council approve the seasonal closure of sidewalks as presented. Okay, Councilor McKinnon, second by Councilor Brody. All those in favor? And that's carried. All right, we'll jump into the council grants program for next year, and we'll hand that over to Johnny.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Due to council, the 2022 council grant program was available to the community to apply between November 1st and November 30th. The purpose of this program is to provide municipal funds or other forms of assistance in limited amounts to community groups and organizations that warrant municipal support. The program exists to recognize the values of these groups to the well-being and growth of the community and in helping the township to retain a strong community focus. The township received 4 applications this year. To ensure a fair and consistent review, all applications were graded using the new application review process. All applications needed to ensure they met all eligibility criteria listed within the council grant policy and were graded accordingly. The first application was from the Strathroy Middlesex General Hospital Foundation, requesting $10,000 in financial assistance for purchase of a new blood bank refrigeration system. The request is consistent with previous year's grants awarded. No additional requests or no staff concerns. The recommendation is to move forward with this grant. Four Counties Health Services Foundation requested $5,000 in financial assistance to purchase patient medical equipment. Specific equipment was not indicated on the application, but the request is consistent with the previous year's grants awarded. No additional requests or staff concerns. The recommendation is to move forward with this grant as well. Kerwood Adelaide Metcalfe Optimist Club requested $2,700 in financial assistance for various community events. In addition to the financial request, in-kind contributions included the ballpark diamond rental and printer use for promotional purposes. Again, no additional requests and no staff concerns. The recommendation is to move forward with this grant. The fourth application was for Middlesex Junior Farmers, a first-time applicant requesting $10,000 in financial assistance for the Farm 911 program. This program aims to ensure all vacant farmland have the opportunity to become part of the 911 addressing system. Staff reached out to the applicant to gain clarification on this program. The grant money would be used to market this program and purchase 911 signs on behalf of the vacant landowners. The township currently offers this service to all residents at a cost. Based on the application and communication with the applicant, it is the recommendation that the funding request be denied by staff, or be denied, as staff will be undertaking a similar project internally to promote 911 signage for vacant lands within the township. Overall, $17,700 is recommended for the 2022 council grant applications and should be incorporated into the 2022 budget. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, thank you, Johnny. Is there any questions or comments at all from members of council? Councilor McKinnon? Councilor McKinnon, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear you, Mayor Smith. Just a comment. When the 911 system was implemented, there was a committee, which I was one of, through the county, and the 911 numbering system was mainly attached to the residential units. But if a farmer in the municipalities requested any signage for vacant farmland, we did grant that, and the municipality would supply it. And that's always been our policy as far as I'm aware. So I'm in support of the recommendation from the treasurer.
Okay, is there any other questions or comments at all? Okay, seeing none. So we have the recommendation in front of us, and that's for approval of to have the grants incorporated into the 2022 budget for the Optimist Club of $2,700, the Four Counties Health Services Foundation of $5,000, and Strathroy Middlesex General Hospital Foundation in $10,000. So mover and seconder for that, Councillor McKinnon and Councillor Brody. All those in favor? And that's carried. Okay, and then Johnny, you got the next one there.
Yep. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you to council. In March 2021, the budget was passed, which didn't identify the reserve transfer or cost of the purchase of the fire rescue truck. Due to the significant material shortages and delays in 2020, the delivery of this truck was pushed to 2021. Since the township does budget on a cash basis, the 2020 project was deferred to 2021. So the full cost of this project would need to be included into the 2021 budget. Due to this deferral, the 2020 reserve transfer would also need to be deferred and would be included in the 2021 budget as well. So the 2020 budget included $375,000 for the purchase of this truck, which was offset by the same amount from the fire equipment reserve. So overall, the budget amendment will include an increase of $375,000 to our revenues, which is coming from the fire equipment reserve, and the same $375,000 increase to capital expense to recognize the full cost of the rescue truck. Since the revenues offset the expenses, there is a zero budget impact as they both net out. But I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
Okay, thank you, Johnny. Is there any questions at all? Okay, perfect. So it's just, we're shuffling around the numbers to make everything make sense and work for this year's budget. Okay, mover and seconder for the recommendation. Okay, Councillor Brody and Deputy Mayor Hendricks. All those in favor? And that's carried. And then I think you have one more there, which is the budget to actual.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you to council. We have the November 2021 budget actual report here. Just a couple notes. Was the purchase of the rescue truck came through here. So as you just saw, the budget amendment will correct the large variance that we see in this report. In addition, we've seen the second payment certificate come through for the Kerwood Park construction. So total spending to date is about $243,000. The remaining gap in expenses are made up with various year-end reserve transfers to come. We have a couple deferred projects and various outstanding capital invoices, which are mainly public works related. The recommendation is for the budget actual report for November 2021 to be received for information. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, is there any questions at all? So with the recommendation in front of us to receive the report as information, moved by Deputy Mayor Hendricks, seconded by Councillor McKinnon. All those in favor? And that's carried. And we're going to move over to Mike Barnier, clerk, for the accessibility accommodations.
Thank you, Mayor Smith. To members of council, the report in front of you is pretty straightforward. Basically, working with the County of Middlesex Accessibility Coordinator, we're filing our reports for compliance. She identified one area where we may be lacking. Basically, we do state an overall that we would accommodate, but what they're looking for is how you would accommodate. So it's more of a procedure than it is actually a policy, but it kind of outlines how we would accommodate each individual during recruitment, interview, and at the workplace. The county did supply the basic policy, which is very similar across the county. So we're just looking for this policy to be approved so we can submit for final compliance, as that was the only outstanding item for this year. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Okay, is there any questions at all? Okay, seeing none, so we have the recommendation in front of us. Mover and seconder, Councillor McKinnon, Councillor Brody, all those in favor? And that's carried. And that looks to be the end of our staff report. So we'll jump into other business if there's anything from anyone. Nope. And as I always do, I'll remind people, throw your garbage out at the curb, or wheel the bins out at the curb. Make sure those bins are empty before the Christmas holiday. Bylaws. So with the recommendation here that bylaw number 29 of 2021, the McDougall zoning bylaw amendment, and bylaw number 30 of 2021, also another McDougall zoning bylaw amendment, we received the third and final reading. Okay, Councillor McKinnon, Councillor Brody, all those in favor? And that's carried. And then the last one's there, that bylaw number 76 of 2021, the seasonal sidewalk closure, bylaw number 79 of 2021, appoint the fire chief, and bylaw number 80 of 2021 received the first, second, third, and final reading. Okay, Councillor Brody, Deputy Mayor Hendricks, all those in favor? And that's carried. And if there's nothing else, we will adjourn at, I think that's got to be a record for the year, 7